favourite speed? Like the train to travel at, or you know, I mean, it doesn't.
Like it up to about 130, I reckon.
Oh well, that's good. That's good.
No, whatever, mate. Just pretend I'm not here.
Yeah. No, I didn't know whether perhaps things could be over too quickly for you. Not that we're going to be breaking the sound barrier or anything.
I'll tell you what, if it's possible, it's slightly less wind though, because you get a lot of wind noise.
Wind? Oh, we're going to cut.
If that's alright.
Yeah. We're both puffing away, so. Oh, you have sound as well?
Yeah. Not a lot, you know, just
yeah.
ambient background.
Well, it gives the bit of atmosphere, I suppose.
Yeah. There's some guy comes around, he's got a stereo one, so
oh, good.
put on your headphones, you got
yeah, yeah, I've got stereo on my video and I've never used it.
Well, there's very few tapes have got stereo.
Exactly,
anyway.
yes. Sometimes I do the odd concert, don't I, in conjunction with radio and that.
But your main problem is you haven't got a stereo TV yet, so, you know, it's not really worth it. But it will be.
Come on, dear, that's it. Some rubbish man about it.
Yeah, get a good clear up really.
I had a chap come with me one day from the BRB board looking for scrap iron. Yeah, he had a camera. Yeah, he had a camera and he was taking pictures of all these lumps of scrap iron.
It was probably a train spotter.
Well, yeah, probably, yeah, that's true. But I thought, well, surely there's got to be something better to do, you know.
Pretty swift acceleration, isn't it?
Well, we were saying earlier on, they give you a fan heater underneath where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
The fan makes more noise than the train, you know. To the left.
Oh, okay, so yeah.
There's no overhead down there. They don't, you know, you won't get too far.
You take the one on the right?
Well, we're all right where we are, but don't go round to the left.
That's the line that goes below.
That's it. Well, it's on the Midland.
That's it, yeah. Wasn't there an old depot here once?
Oh, I would imagine so, because we're from the south, so consequently we're southern men, you know.
Oh, right.
This is all, well, it's not strange, obviously, but it might as well be strange. We're not used to this overhead either.
Ah. So where do you change from overhead to third range?
Farringdon.
Farringdon,
And we go back on the good old third row.
yeah. How long does that usually take then to change over?
Seconds. Well, if luck's with you, you know, if it's actually working. Yeah, they've had one or two problems, but thank goodness I've touched wood, I've managed to stick in. Not like the old trams, they used to have to go out and pull it down.
That's
didn't
right,
they?
yeah.
Wind it round.
Saw a program today on steam trams.
Steam
They
trams.
were something else, weren't they? I mean,
Out there.
they're chucking all this stuff out on the road.
My father drove a steam lorry for a while, and you know, in the good old days. He used to say they used to try and fill up from the old horse troughs, which was against the law, so they'd keep one eye open for the law while they were doing it, you know.
It was a short-lived passenger transport revolution, that, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah. Something about steam, though, that's hard to explain. Do you ever get up to Scotland at all for...
Well, I'm wanting to. It's just that by the time I've paid for the hire of a camera and paid for a 2-week train ticket, I've got no money left for hotel bills.
I'm thinking of a little private railway I know of. And, well, it's the Brecon Preservation Society.
Oh yeah.
They've got about 9 miles of track.
Were you part of it?
No, well, no. They keep trying to get me into it. I go up there quite a bit. I've got a place that actually it runs round the back by the back garden. And literally a couple of hundred yards from where I am is the old station, where they terminate, you know.
Yeah.
And the guy that bought the station I was saying to live at, he's got 3 little steam engines of his own, you see. So obviously when I'm up there, he tries to get me mucking about with it. You know, I'd sooner be off fishing, but he's had me firing and one thing and another too.
Yeah.
But they're enthusiastic, there's no doubt about that.
So where are you based?
Orpington.
Orpington. Oh
Orpington's
yeah.
right down there.
Yeah. I've met 2 or 3 guys from there just recently.
Yeah, well, because we've just taken over with these trains, you know. I was up the cross previous to that Charing Cross. Thank goodness I got some sense and went to Orpington, because it's literally, I live the next station, you know. So it saves a lot of travelling.
Yeah. Oh, some good blokes in Orpington.
Average, you know, like most depots, you get, like everywhere else in life, you get your rough eggs. What do they charge you for your ticket?
What, a 2-week all over? 220, I think.
Well, I suppose it's how you use it. It seems a lot to start.
It does, but I mean, like, if you think how many miles
That's
I
what I'm
get
saying, it all
into,
depends how you use it, yeah.
Well, I know it seems a bit daft doing London once, but I mean...
No, it's whatever floats your boat, you know.
So So you have to check out the weather. Where is it going to be sunniest?
That's it.
And off you go the next day.
Well, some of these old underlines, they've got some real bits of history, haven't they?
Oh, they certainly have. I'm hoping to get the South London line later. But every time I've tried to do it, it started raining, you know. It's as if it's sort of fated, I don't know why. But that and this line are the ones I'd really like to get, you know. And the idea is I want to get every single line that's existed eventually, you know. It's a little ambition of mine.
Well, I can remember Snow Hill when it was in the old steam days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they used to have a little tank engine permanently down in the tunnel, for banking up. And I know sometimes we'd be mucking about on the pilot. We'd have to go down and bank one out, you know, which was about the only time we got down there. But yeah, it's because the bridge that they used to use ran alongside the existing bridge. They took it back. Well, a couple of years back, they took that bridge down.
That's just it, yeah.
Is that the one with the post still standing?
Yeah, they've left the bit in the river, but
that King's Cross station there, it's a very new one, isn't it?
Well,
was it just rebuilt on the side of the old?
Well, I don't know much about it. Actually, I was asking a guy the other day, how far is it from the main line station? And he said, just a couple of hundred yards. I can't tell you too much about that at all.
I think there always was a... Well, it wasn't called Thameslink, it was called something else before.
Well,
I'm not
it's
sure
always
if it
known
was
as
there.
it's always known as King's Cross Midland.
That's it.
No, thanks, John.
All right, dear boy.
Alright, I'll
Yeah.
on the back, John.
Right, I've got to be. Well, you know I've got my Kia.
Yeah.
Right, panto down. Got to be very careful with this. I've had one or two pantos knocked off. Yeah, all right. Yeah, we get a guard from here. That guard is our
Oh, I
guard.
see, yeah.
Obviously, he puts his key on the other end, and he can work the doors as he will do.
So the one-person operation is just on the Midland?
Well, yeah, or with the radio. So this is the only side they got the radio. When eventually, obviously, when we get the radio our side, then well, these people, I think October they're talking about doing away with it. They're going to have to buck their ideas up regards this radio.
Has it been reliable?
I've never had to use it myself. And if you look in the book, all you can see is radio not working, radio not working. Well, of course, immediately, really, you're a failure. Because you're on your own. If you haven't got a radio, you're a failure. Get on the phone to the signal and tell him.
So how successful have these services been? You're getting...
Well, we don't see too much of them in the rush hour. But I believe it's proving popular, and like everything else, the more it gets known, more people.
I mean, like the tubes are so congested, you would have thought it would be a good way to get around certain...
Oh yes, yeah.
People coming from here trying to get south of the river.
Well, what I was asking about, I managed to go up to Scotland before I went up by car. I used to go up by train. So that was going to King's Cross, which I used to come up to Victoria, on the underground to King's Cross. So really, if in fact it is only a couple of hundred yards, King's Cross Midland from the main line station, it's a blooming good move, you know. Yeah, this is the old tunnel.
So there was a station down here as well?
Yes,
wasn't there?
yes. There was another one up the top of the bank, but the platform stood there for a little while back until they started doing this modernisation, and then they knocked all the platforms down and everything. I believe it was called Farringdon. I'm not sure.
You just called Snow Hill?
Or something, it might have been, but mind you, we're talking about right back when God was a boy, you know. Yeah, it used to stand there, like where that enormous brick wall was. That's where the station was.
Oh, Ludgate?
Ludgate,
Ludgate, that's
and
it.
the bridge used to be where this office building is. Like it went straight across there and run across. I mean, I've been across it. As I say, it's only pulled down. Only pulled down a little while back.
Well, they've realigned all these lines, haven't they?
Yeah, they've shifted them all out.
And the idea is eventually get closed Holborn, so.
Yes. Well, Holborn and Blackfriars used to be shut weekends, but Blackfriars is open now. Weekends, you know.
Well, it's sorely underused, really, isn't it? During
It's
the...
only rush hour.
Yeah.
Like Cannon Street, really. It's only rush hour.
What I did find a bit mysterious is the choice of destinations down here, you know, Purley and Aubrey.
Well, Brighton, yeah.
I mean, Brighton, yeah, Gatwick, yeah.
Yeah, you can understand Alderton. I suppose that's really supposed to be, and Sevenoaks. I suppose they think that's getting people from the southeast. See, the others are central part. Whether they're going to extend it later on. I can't really see it only going as far as Sevenoaks and Alderton.
What's it?
Everything's in a flux at the moment because of this blooming Channel Tunnel.
Well, I was going to say,
They haven't
yeah.
made their mind up where they're going to put lines, and goodness knows where it will finish up. I'm hoping I won't see it. Just read about it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, one of the ideas was to build a big terminal at Stratford. I mean,
There's other
can you imagine that? People from Europe, first thing they see is Stratford.
There's your pillars of the old bridge.
Yeah.
I don't know what they've left there for, whether it's part of some kind of preservation.
Probably difficult to get out more than anything.
Somehow I did hear a room and they put it away in a museum. The bridge. They had that crane up here that lifted that Mary Rose up. That's what took it down. I've never seen anything like that in my life. The size of it.
Some bloke was going to be taking me on this Cannon Street, Blackfriars, Stewart's Lane little
Trippier with your empties there, mostly
empties.
empties.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, they run Cannon Street round to here into the side, and then round to Stewart's Lane via Loughborough, or back the other way.
Well, that was what I was really keen to get, you know, because there's two bits of line you don't usually use for
No,
passages.
I don't.
But I think he must have got his days wrong, you know.
Well, Brockley Lane's another way, another bit of line that, really that's only used in the rush hour, you know.
Well, that's on Crystal Palace.
No, that's the one that runs from Nunhead to Lewisham.
Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, hopefully might be getting that tonight.
And I've heard, when I started on this job, I've heard the old drivers talk about there used to be an atmospheric railway. Used to cross, actually the bridges, bits and pieces were still there. They've been knocked down. It used to run over towards Greenwich.
That's it, yeah. Well, that's what happened. That line was diverted into Lewisham. So they shut that Greenwich Park branch.
The bits and pieces of bridges were still there.
Oh, yeah.
They've gone. Well, didn't they have something like that working in Crystal Palace itself? Atmospheric?
Yeah. I think there's been quite a few experiments. There's
Yeah,
one in Devon as well.
That's it, I saw that one on TV.
The reason it never worked was they didn't have the technology to make everything airtight.
No.
And that was the...
I think one of the problems was the rats used to eat the leather. Used to soak them in tallow or something. The rats used to eat. That sounds like beer.
It seems a bit struggling to have like 4 lines down here. I mean, are they really needed?
Well, yes. once again, we're back to this problem of rush hour, you see. You get so-called fast trains running up from Gillingham and that of a morning, and they used to use these two so-called fast lines when you've got the stoppers coming over on that side. Funny enough, this bit of line between here and Loughborough is like a donkey's hind leg, you know, it's backwards. I think something we get a bit blasé too is that the fact that all this is built on arches.
That's right.
From New Cross right up to Cannon Street, Charing Cross, it's all built on arches. You know, we get so used to it, we don't appreciate that the job it must have been originally.
The amount of land must have cleared. Sure.
Yeah, well, I did see, well, actually I had I don't know if you got to it, that Cannon Street, they had that open there about the Greenwich. And they had some bits of bump there when they built the Greenwich, you know.
That's the oldest bit of line in London.
Yeah.
All this, as I say, is on the arches. And
Yeah,
stuff through Factory
brickwork
Junction and all that.
You see it now when they're trying to renew it, you know, the thickness of the bricks and stuff like that.
Yes, quite a feat.
Oh well, I mean, how many bricks went into it, goodness knows. I dare say the brick companies have like the job of renewing it all today.
I bet they would.
They probably do recast concrete then.
Yeah, it seems weird then you think about they can't refinance the Saffron Carlisle, which is basically a problem of Riddlehead Viaduct, and that's it. You know?
Well, I think it's like everything else, is the will there.
Yeah.
Regardless what they can do if they got the will.
It's not going to turn into rain.
I don't know, I think it's so general like this today.
I've had a few of these over already, you know, that's actually developed. Like, this morning I got, I was really pleased I got Waterloo to Wimbledon Depot through Point Pleasant.
Oh,
on the Putney line. Just by chance.
So what do you do normally then? I mean, when you're earning the crust?
Well, I do loads of audio and visual work. Like recently I had to do some music for a promotional video for the Stock Exchange.
So really your hobby's your job, so you've managed to...
Oh, it's all together, yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's nice, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
There aren't too many others can do that, but that's nice.
Well, that's it. I think it tends to involve really long hours, you know.
Yeah, but then again...
At least we're doing...
If you're doing what you want to do, that's the thing.
Because it gives me the opportunity to do this sort of thing, which
Yeah.
I really like. It's cool.
Yeah, it's, as I say, there aren't too many of us. Now, if you're going Stuart's Lane, you go round
So
to the
take a right,
That's
yeah.
it,
Well, those are the sort of lines I'd really like to get, you know, to the Stuart's Lane and Factory Junction and all that.
Sometimes on a Sunday, they run the Sevenoaks and the Albans, sometimes on a Sunday. They run them down Bar Stuart's Lane.
Do they always do
Yeah,
that?
instead of coming over the arches, they run them down Bar Stuart's Lane if they got a bit of work on, you know. But as I say, it's one of those engineering works rather than anything regular, you know.
Yeah.
It's just you got to be lucky.
Well, the only ones I've got looked at so far have been like flat round to Kensington Olympian, you know. It's just a couple of shuttles in the morning. But... You see, that's what I used to do when I used to come in, because I used to live in Sheerness when I was really young.
Oh, yeah.
So I used to come into Victoria and get very excited just on the train. And I'd look over and I'd see Stuart's Lane on the steam train.
In the old steam days?
Yeah, I'd get very excited about it.
Like a
So it's like,
a madhouse, that place.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, I was at Hither Green.
Brilliant, yeah. Have you been on the Southern Orley Light?
Yes, yes, I'm not one of your world's roads, you know. Yeah, this is all sort of my old stamping ground. Because we used to go Hither Green, Willesden, Old Oak, to the old W place.
Oh, right, yeah. It's a really nice station, you know, it's design.
They've really tarted it up this last year. I'm just waiting for someone to find out that all these lamps are brass and things like that, and suddenly they'll disappear. They've only been there, well, a matter of months, you know. I'm sure somebody somewhere could make a fortune out of them.
That's right, I mean, it looks good for me, go out on the street.
Well, this is it, they'll turn up one day and find out someone's been around with a hacksaw or something. Well, Crofton Park, actually, we've complained about it. Crofton Park weekends are shut up, and they have two of the biggest Alsatians you've ever seen. Security chained up, one on each platform. God, if ever we have to stop there and get on the phone, they'll eat you. They really will, you know.
Yeah.
They're enormous. And they chain them to the upright, you know, that holds the roof up.
Oh,
Because every time you go through there, roaring and God, you know. Yeah, if ever I have to stop there, I'm going to look for a cat and give them or something like that.
Distracted.
Yeah, anything let me get by. Yeah, evidently they tell me this is a new scheme, this weekend business. We're putting guard dogs on platforms, I don't know. It'll be alright until perhaps a kiddie gets on there and gets hurt.
That's right, there'll be trouble there. Because I was on a Nadis connectors the other day, and as it was stations, can't remember the station between Elmer's End and Addiscombe, but it's shuttered on Sunday.
That's it.
And there's some kids all over the platform, very surprised to see a train going by.
Yes.
Got them on film, right?
Yes, you very often have this, you know, that you come more into a station and kids scampering away. Well, all right, they're doing damage in that, but there's still no reason to get eaten alive by a dog sort of business.
These units seem more impressive now than they have when I've ridden on them before somehow. They always seem to be straining before, but this seems to be going quite
yes.
smoothly.
These are 319s, obviously, as you know. Have you been on a 319 before?
Yeah, I've been as a passenger a few times.
Yeah, because the tales about the 317s, you know, it sort of frightens you about the brakes.
Oh,
We
right,
don't actually get on them. The only time we got on them was when we was learning our road over Cricklewood. No, they're good ideas, lots of good ideas on them. They seem to have gone overboard a little bit on the safety factor, which unfortunately you get so many safety things, you know, something's bound to go wrong, and it normally does.
So all these sort of like new generation of EMU's got the same sort of braking system then?
Well, because we're EP, over here we're EP, now we've gone over to this new system using the disc brakes and what have you, so it's taken a little while to get used to.
Yeah, because most drivers I talk to seem to like the old Westinghouse brakes more.
Well, Westinghouse, you get a Westinghouse combination of EP. There's no doubt about it, that EP's a lovely brake, once you get used to it. So this thing, I dare say, we'll be saying the same about this once we get used to it, as long as they don't start interfering with it, which they did on the 317s. To try and save on brake lock there, then they cut down the pressure and what have you. This is what's made them such a bloody disaster.
I see.
And it appears the start or the people that are responsible, they want to do it on these as well. they're actually wear as long as the old EP. I can't see that myself. You tell me that the 4-coach set of these is £1.5 million. I know $1 million doesn't buy a lot today, but I've looked through them and I thought, well, I don't know if I had $1.5 million, I don't think I'd buy one of them.
No, right.
And they are made really for rush hour traffic. And it's standard wood.
That's it. Well, I think it's the new idea is to have them all open plan, really, isn't it?
Yes.
I think their argument is you can cram more people in, and
Yeah,
also
you can get more people standing in the city.
Also, it cuts down on hooliganism to a degree, because you're a bit more visible, I suppose.
Well, I mean, they can get from one coach to another, and plus the fact you've got a toilet. I did rather think that was brilliant of them putting all the fuses and MCBs in the toilet. So if you've got to go back there, you just pray that there's nobody using the toilet. So you're trying to get them out before you can do anything.
Because on the 455s aren't any toilets at all, which is crazy. And they're bringing out the 456, which is like a 2-car version, which will have a toilet, but no gangway. Brilliant, isn't it? So they're going to run them 2 connected together. So you're in the 455, last train home, been to the front.
Yeah.
We'll go for a pee, you know.
Of course, these have a tank, but toilets go into tanks. Here we go. Mustn't confuse the computer with these. If you take the brake off and don't give her a bit of power, it confuses the computer because you start to roll back and the computer senses you've got to go forward but it's rolling back. So you give her a bit of power and then take a brake off. Once again, a good idea, but
yeah.
But I've heard stories whether it's true or not. That evidently in firms and Blackfriars are complaining about the computer on here is evidently mucking their computers up.
Is it?
In the offices. It's so powerful. I don't know anything about these things, but
Well, I don't see how it could. I mean,
well,
it's
I
all-
don't know. It appears it's giving them problems.
It's a good story, though, isn't it?
Well, I mean, the train goes by and wipes all their tapes or something like
It's just-
trouble. Oh, Crystal Palace line used to run up there.
Oh, right, is this where it came off?
Yeah, it used to
Run
come up to Nunhead,
Oh, yeah.
run right in the sort of Somerset.
Is there much of the old station left at Crystal Palace?
I don't know, I really don't.
So that means go and have a good look around one of these days. You know.
I can remember when I was a farmer here, when we came here once, we picked up some rails there on the ballast. That was when I was just beginning to pick it up, you know, it was shut down. I was picking the rail there. But how much was sort of left up there, I don't know. So this is the old Brighton line we're passing over.
Oh,
Cross,
right,
Cross
yeah.
Gate, we just passed there.
Yeah. Quite a severe bank, it is.
It is.
You never really notice these things when you're
No,
looking at the
not
side.
sitting in the train. I think everybody's waiting to find out how these trains perform in the autumn when we get the leaves.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, really.
Because even in wet weather they're beginning to slip and slide a bit and the wheels lock. They do seem very light on their feet, you know. So when we get down round Ainsford and Otford, that is famous when the leaves are coming down. Oh God, everybody's in trouble round there. So we're all sort of waiting to find out how these are going to perform. They've got the anti-slip device on. And I've had problems obviously on the others, running into buffer stops, you know. So you've got the so-called safety. If your wheels pick up and you think you're going to hit the stops, you punch that as a last resort. That just overrides you. You cut out the whole of the anti-locking. You know, you're back to Mark 1 sort of brake.
Yeah.
That once again, that's something I've learned, you see. Mind you, whether you're going to get time to it.
Apparently they're going to be delivering another 24 of these, another 24 being ordered. I don't know whether they're going to incorporate any modifications or not.
I don't know, no. They're writing the fault and failure book now as we go along, and as things are happening, they're literally asking me, well, what did you do? And that's what they're writing down. There's nobody you can turn to, because nobody knows anything about it.
They're quite smooth rides, you know.
Oh, they're nice rides.
But the seats are really uncomfortable back there.
As you say, they're hard.
Yeah.
They are nice ride. I noticed they're inclined to bottom a bit. You hit a low joint and they'll go down and you can hear it bang, hit the frame, you know. But you don't get that with the EPs. I mean, a nice ride. That's your mid-Kent line down to Hayes and Addison.
Yeah, all along there. So there's another little bit I'd like to get that new Beckenham Junction loop.
Just
a little spur
around
there.
the corner there.
Used to be quite heavily used in Andover.
Yes,
I mean, that was there before the Victoria line. Very long before that. I'm right in thinking, I think the original way into Victoria was Beckenham Junction, Crystal Palace, that way.
Well,
Before the line through Herne Hill was built.
well, they used to work royalty trains into Bricklayers Arms, didn't they?
That's it, yeah.
They used to come up from Gravesend West Street. And I know when we used to go down Gravesend West Street, the old signal box right down there, because they had a turntable there and what have you, the old signal box had a coal block with the Russian coat of arms. Evidently, I suppose one of the Tsars or whatever you come over here on his boat brought him to there, and the engine had these special coal blocks cast, you know, with the Russian coat of arms. Of course, one fell off, and they took it up the box, and it had been there ever since. Yeah, they used to run up into Bricklayers Arms. I believe Victoria used to meet, Queen Victoria used to meet them there and all that business, you know.
It's a short-lived little station that was, wasn't it?
Well, this is... There used to be a place down the Brick, because I was at Illy Green, so I didn't know the Brick too much, but there used to be a place down the Brick. They always used to refer to as the chapel. It was a loco shed, one of the loco sheds, always referred to as the chapel.
What was that?
Well, this was it. I've often used to think to myself, well, what's the history of that, really?
It's an interesting one. I haven't heard that before.
Yeah, it was always referred to as the chapel.
I quite like these little mysteries. There was like the Necropolis station at Waterloo, which was just for the funeral trains. So you used to load your coffin on there, and off it would go down to Brockenhurst or something.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
well, it's a big cemetery there.
Yeah.
I know, we broke down once, right alongside that cemetery. Yeah, with one of the old BT-80s coming up from Waterloo, coming up from Sevenoaks with the boat. We got as far as there and blew up. They've just reopened these sidings.
Right, yeah, I was surprised to see it.
They shut us down, pulled everything out, and then
So
when this stock started coming in, we started spending a fortune on it. Because we don't know really whether it's for personal needs eventually, but we're back in there again with our normal trains, you know.
There's 2 or 3 that start from here now in the morning and the evening. You know.
Yeah, well that's as it used to be. We used to have quite a bit of work in and out of here, putting them in and taking them out. And they used to start from here, you know. It's very difficult, they do these little things and you think, well, I don't know. See, the Continental at Hither Green, they built that. Never used it hardly, sold it to the Japanese car people. Now they've pulled it all down, so now they tell me there's houses going up there. So. Southwark, what was the place up there? Ewer Street. Ewer Street, that used to be the Continental.
Right, yeah.
Ewer Street, yeah. I can remember that when all the Continental fruit that used to go in there, vegetables and all that. Then they used it as a berthing point for trains, you know. Now it's all shut down and pulled down. So.
I think it's a good thing about these sort of things is you can record things and know it could well change in a few years' time.
Well,
Because a lot of these might go if the lorries get drivers.
Yeah, it's with the trouble with concrete. That once it goes down on the that's finished. You're not going to put it up and restore it as soon as they work.
That's it. There's a few services I've noticed on the timetable that go like Holborn, Nunhead, Lewisham, Nunhead to Crayford, and then they appear to stop and go no further. Do you know if they sort of carry on to Dartford as empty coaching stock
Well,
or come
normally,
round?
no, they normally go round the spur into Slades Green.
Ah, yeah.
Or you can go Crayford, and this works both ways. You can go Slades Green to Crayford, and start again up. What we call a rounder. You run right the way round, and then back up again to London, or go down to Slades Green or Barnhurst, and then round to Crayford and back up to London again up the loop or something. It saves going to. All you're doing.
I mean, sometimes you can work out that that's in fact what they're doing. There's a Barnhurst Slade Green one, and you can follow them in the timetable.
That's it. Yeah.
There's a bit of ingenuity.
Some of them.
The Crayford ones just seems to stop, so I presume that must be empty coaching.
Yeah. Majority of them like that berth at Slades Green.
It's worth doing those just to get little spurs in, It sounds ridiculous,
Yeah,
but you want to get everything, especially unusual ones.
You wouldn't normally get over that.
The surprising thing is you watch these videos back and you get the impression that London's a lot greener than you'd imagine. Somehow. I don't know why.
Yes.
I mean, if you just see this on your TV, you wouldn't know it was London.
No.
You wouldn't know you just come past Catford.
That's it. Yeah, I think if you think you talk about London, people don't know it. It's all bricks and concrete today.
Most of these southern lights are also surrounded by trees anyway. So you've got a new speed mark, isn't it?
Yes, well, mostly they're put up for the eastern chaps.
For the what, sorry?
For the eastern chaps, because we don't. Our old type was just a number painted yellow. It was when we started getting this changeover, them coming over here, us going over there. They've started putting them up over here, but you'll find it's only on the line where they're running over on our side.
So
It's what they're used to, you see. Yeah, you don't normally get it on the southern where they don't go.
Trying to get a more unified setup.
Well, I personally think this network here will be sold off. I think that's what it's been done for. That's the basis of it, They've identified all the big money-making bits and put them together, called them network, and that's where all the money's being invested. And when they're ready, it'll all be sold off. Shortlands Junction. It's amazing the distance is covered by these signal boxes now.
Is this still a box here at Shortlands Junction?
Well, no, we're still under Victoria.
Oh.
Used to be a box here, just the other side of where you can see it.
Yeah.
But that's defunct.
So I remember that working.
That came out when they opened the Victoria box. I believe the story is that they'll finish up with 4.5 signal boxes to cover the whole of this side.
4.5?
4.5, yeah.
Where's the half?
Well, Victoria's the half because of the central and the...
Oh,
Yes, they certainly took some boxes out. London Bridge.
Was that not being used anymore?
London Bridge is, as I say, when London Bridge came in and Victoria came in. But I can remember the boss we had at the time of this sort of region, when they were doing London Bridge, they were putting a relay room in at Lewisham, and he got in a cab with me one day and he said he'd just been down to have a look at this relay room. He said, these engineers, you know, he said, there comes a time when you've got to tell them to stop. I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, we haven't opened London Bridge yet. He said, and they're telling me that if I'd like to give them Waterloo Station roof, they'll build me one box there that'll do the whole of the Southern. He said, we haven't even opened the one we were just doing. So there comes a time and say, for God's sake, stop. It's all money, isn't it?
Mm.
And I suppose as the development of all these computers and what have you, mini chip, I suppose their dream is to get it all done automatically at one time.
Yeah, I suppose so. Get away with as many sort of like personnel as possible, really.
Well, this seems to be the thing. I mean, the joke is that they've done away with all these signal boxes, thereby saving signalmen. And all you see today is people guys walking about the track with these little boxes over their shoulder, trying to keep the signals running. So, at the end of the day, what have you saved? You spend a lot of money, and I'm sure you've got a sort of better system, perhaps, but the problem is when one thing goes wrong, it seems to go wrong right through the whole system again.
Mm.
So really, when you come right down to it, it's you've got all the time. All right?
Yep.
Let's have a try. This job does make you nosy, though. You're always looking at people's back gardens, you see. Actually, a woman said that to a driver once, said if they put all signals on her bedroom wall, no driver would ever run by. She must have been watching drivers.
This is a line I used to chum along when I was living in Sevenoaks.
Yeah.
We've only been back here once or twice, since. I mean, this is like years and years ago.
Where do you live now?
In Kingston. I was living in Norfolk before that, so.
Uh-huh.
Clean the bricks on this, haven't they?
Yes, I've had a bit of a purge just here. Yes, we're into pot plants and gardens and quite a big way over this side. Yeah, we've got lovely stations. It's the trains we have problems with. I don't think much of their colour system actually now. I suppose I bought a job lot, but there you are.
Well, I like the old red, don't you?
Well, yeah, because the problem with red is it frightens the life out of us.
Yeah, sorry.
Anything red, you actually, like Pavlov's dogs, immediately you see red, you react.
Yeah, a few people said that actually. Especially coming to Richmond. Basically, like, read everything in there.
Yeah, you do, you react without thinking, which is a good thing in its way. Well, as I say, I suppose there's some cheap rubber paint going somewhere.
I'm not too keen on the old network southeast livery,
Well, we call
them
Pepsi Cola tins,
Toothpaste, yeah.
Well, it's bright, and that's about it.
Still looks a bit like Hornby Double O to me somehow,
Well, probably that's where the original idea.
Yeah. You're watching Thomas the Tank Engine.
Well, someone probably who's responsible probably had one of these things as a kid.
Yeah.
It always, stuck.
A bit like, was it Stroudley's yellow? Like his engine designer was colourblind. So this is yellow, sort of a green, I think the old Jaffa Cake livery looks alright.
The
Jaffa Cake.
well, what do you call?
That's the brown and orange one you get on the faster network southeast stuff down here. Sainsbury's good one. Yeah, I think it's okay. But I still think out of all the big ones, the old Brunswick Green locos and marine coaches,
Yeah,
it looked right somehow.
yeah,
you know.
it's
Looked like a
how
real-
much of it is it because what you're used to and things like that, you know. I know some of them old engines, they used to have at wheels and some of those city class, but they used to be that sort of red, deep sort of a maroon, dark red. Yeah, they'd seem to strike you as right for the machine it was in.
That's right. When you start painting these things blue though, it just looks...
Yeah, it's just an idea. Will it? It's like a balancing act.
That's it. I'll lean forward next time.
That's it, yeah, that's what trips balance.
Haven't they redirectionalised these lines? Is that the word I'm looking for? I thought they used to be like, these two are both up and those two are both down.
Well, going back into the steam days, take St Mary's Cray for instance, you only had two roads. Then when they electrified down to the coast, you had four roads. So virtually, it's very difficult to visualise what was the up, which was the down, you know, because they built a bank in some places on one side and they built a bank on the other, you know, so it's... But as you're up main, down main, up slow, down slow. Actually, this bit of road gets quite a bit of wear because you get the boat traffic coming up to Dover, plus, you know, the local suburban, and then the main line Rams gets up.
But the livery looks a lot better since they've darkened the blue up a bit, really, you know.
It's got dirty.
Yeah. No, I think they have actually changed the blue, so... But even so, it's...
That's an Orpington down in front of us, we can see the tail end of it.
Is it, yeah? Should be from Victoria, yeah?
Very good clean up here too. Well, they've actually rebuilt this bit up here. Somebody decided to burn it down one morning.
Ah, it's nice, is it?
Yes, 26-year-old girl. I never really did find out what the problem was. Yeah, she burnt a lot down. Perhaps she was waiting too long for a train or something. Yeah,
She couldn't stand the new livery.
well, this is it. Yeah, can't stand the fares keep going up.
Yeah, right. So presumably there's been a lot of VPBs taken out as these been brought in.
Yeah, well, they found a lot of stock. They've got this asbestos
Oh yeah.
lagging. So they stood in Sevenoaks for a long while they sort of debated what they were going to do about it. They were sending some down to Sage Green, stripping them out. I know that sometimes as we went by, we'd see the guys that were stripping them to pieces. They looked like something from Mars, you know, these space suits on them. But eventually, I think they just took them away and broke them up. Very rarely get a 10 car now, which at one time was the big thing in the Russia. You very rarely get a 10 car now. It's mostly 8s and 6s.
So the old Wessex stuff is 5 and 10. They said they've had a lot of problems with the Wessex stock, you know, the doors not shutting and
Yeah.
not enough power in the rail beyond pull and all that. That's up to Orpington.
That's your Orpington,
yeah.
Sevenoaks main line.
Yeah.
The first bridge we pass under is the Chislehurst Loop, as
Oh,
they
right.
call it.
Yeah, yeah,
And this is the main line, Charing Cross, Dover.
yeah.
This is all National Trust land here, so they can't build on this. I live here, so
Do you? Oh, right.
I just be very careful. Oh, the old original green belt, you know.
So how do you think these compare to the 317s then? 'Cause I
Well,
always
the
thought they
little
were...
we had to do with the 317s while we was just learning the road, yeah, I like these. I do like them.
They struck me as being sort of nicer to ride in as a passenger anyway. More comfortable and...
Yeah. Well, as I say, really, these will do what they're designed to do. Shift people. How they'll shift them, regards of comfort and that, you know, it's short and sweet. Because in the old steam days, you see this station here and two roads like this. The up platform was where this is, and the down platform, it was staggered, something
Oh, I
like
see, yeah.
that. So when they finished up, it's very difficult to look at it and think of.
So which one of these two was the original platform then?
Well, none of them.
Ah,
It was all torn down and rebuilt. And that's what I say, it's so difficult to look at it and try and visualise how.
and wasn't Bickley moved along as well, I thought? So,
No, not to my knowledge. It's not to my knowledge, no.
so I thought it was like right on that junction originally.
Well, no, I've never seen it there. You know, it's always been where it is at the moment. And obviously, a lot of the bank was made up. But it's difficult at this time to try and remember what side they made up. You know, I know they had to do some this side made up ground to get the other road, and also that side. I think it was a case of a bit here and there. Swindon's the next station.
It's a good view that is, isn't it? So it's pretty good being right in the middle here because often I've been on the side, you know, it's,
Yes,
you always look as if you're leaning out.
that's it.
You see how I'm watching and you're sort of doing this.
Well, for people that have never actually been in the front, particularly EPs, EPBs, you seem to be well outside the rail, you know, you almost feel as if you're going to topple off. The Maidstone East line trains run down this way, go right down as far as Oxford, go off Oxford, then turn off Maidstone East, Ashford that way.
Yeah. That's a very pretty line, that one, eh?
But I always think actually the bit, when we lose Swanwick, once you get clear of the tunnel, it's a valley really, runs right the way down to Sevenoaks, while back forward.
Yeah.
I always think it's a pretty little valley.
I've never actually done that bit through Battenball, you know. I've done most of the other ones, but never that one.
hobbies and interests. We've got a nudist camp this side. Yeah, and they got one of these sort of cowboy societies this side. The Waco Crossing or something. And sometimes you come by weekends and they're out there with all their guns on and what have you. I mean, you know, as I say, it's their hobby. But I wonder, well, how do they talk to each other weekends? Do they say, you know, had a bad day at the office, or do they put on all the dialogue, you know, pal? They tell me there was pretty near a shootout there one day. Someone was mucking about with somebody else's wife. I don't know whether they got the sheriff in or what. They are, that's, I suppose it's just...
A bit of escapism, really, isn't it?
Well, it's fantasising and living their dreams, as we all do.
This is where we split off, isn't it? So M presumably is Maidstone, is it?
Yeah, you're down there on the left is Soul Street, so you go to two lines there. Soul Street, Farningham Road, Soul Street, Chatham, Kent Coast. Away we go, well, obviously, you can get down that way to Maidstone, East Blackton, Ball, Sevenoaks, where you join the main line again.
So what else can that display apart from M then?
Well, you'll get to Chatham.
What's that, C?
Yeah, and then you'll... There was a depot here, a juice depot at one time, but like everything else it got shut down. Swansea. We got most of them at Orpington, most of the chaps, you know.
Line there was a 90 mile an hour speed restriction. There aren't any EMUs that can do 90.
Well, the main liners, what I term main liners, corridor stock and that. Yeah, sure, that's, I mean, these are 100. The old, these things, they're rated at 90.
Are they?
Yeah.
The six
Rated
and the
at
bigs.
90. Yeah, and you'll get what we call the old BPB, the 75 on them. Oh yeah, you come up from Ashford on the main line with those, you wind them up. You won't have any problem doing 90.
Well, I think the only place in the whole of the region where you can do 100 is along Bournemouth Road now. It's about time these lines got new stock because they're heavily used, you know.
Oh yeah, the money's going into, you know, the money's being brought in.
It's now, anyway.
This is the M25 we're passing under.
Oh, right.
Hasn't been open too long. This, you know, when they finally opened it up all the way around.
What are you doing today?
Oh, I'm finished when I get the soaps.
Are you?
Hatchback walk and done. Got a few of these, what do you call them, right-of-way crossings around here. Public footpaths, you know. So it always pays to sound the horn. Somebody goes one across. That's what the W is, the whistle.
It's really good scenery around here.
Yes, in the autumn when the leaves are coming down, it reduces many a driver to tears here. Coming the other way, they slip straight through the station. And coming up here, you wonder whether you're going to get up the bank.
Yeah, that's a big problem with these, isn't it?
Well, I sat here one day actually, and one evening there was a chap stuck in front of me. I could see the tail end, and obviously he slipped to a stop, trying to move forward, but he was coming backwards. The wheels were going forward, and I sort of sat there and watched him come back, and I thought he'd come back much farther. I'm going to bail out. But he stopped and managed to creep away again. Yeah, you can be going one way, the wheel's one way, and slipping backwards. So it will be interesting because, as I say, these are very light, you know. Nicely balanced, if you like.
Yeah, they do look very thin, don't they, compared to the LDPBs and whatnot.
You can normally see the gouge marks in the rails where they've slipped. It's a very expensive thing, really, because you've got to change the rail, you know, otherwise you get a terrible bang, bang, bang. Well, it's just like putting a grindstone, isn't it, on the rail, you know, it's like, I know it's a round steel wheel, but by the time you finish slipping and sliding, it's just like having a grindstone. Yes, you come the other way and you touch your brakes about there and they just stop. You get ominous silence. Straight through the station. Everybody stands and watches you go through. Stop and set back. Down the other side of Maidstone, they try to overcome the problem. They put a water pipe up the middle of the rail. It sprays the rail and washes the... When these leaves come down, it's almost like an oily deposit they put down. Water, a good downpour of rain washes it off, so they're working on the theory that this water spraying on the rail will just wash this, you know, slime off.
Yeah, I've noticed this track cleaning service that's going scuttling around, you know. I couldn't quite, I mean, presume that's what it's to do with.
Yeah, you get trouble like that and you get a really good downpour of rain. Yeah, that washes it off. Well, I don't think you could wish for better weather than that.
Yeah, I'd be lucky if that.
I always think that's a good picture. I mean, that part.
Very used to the long welded rail, and when it stops, you know.
You notice it? Yep. Yes.
It's obviously easier to film on a long welded, you know, you don't get so much vibrations and picture vibration. A lot of the stuff I filmed has been on old rails with DMUs or whatnot around the country. You know, it's just...
Yeah.
It's alright if the rest of you's moving. When you're sitting still in the room, you're not, and it is.
I've got a train run round Now I believe it's on hire from Italy. Been running around for a long while. It grinds the rails. It's I think it's a 3 or a 4 coach set.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that already.
That's it. Well, it's normally standing at Hither Green, but of a night sometimes you'll pass it and there's these great clouds of sparks coming out. And what the hell's going on? Yeah, they're rigged right, on the inside.
Yeah, I think it's like last
It's
year.
on run from Italy. It's been over here sometimes. I don't know what it's costing me. Much of this equipment they use today, it's Swiss and Italian. I'm talking about what they maintain in track with. I don't know, we got some good ideas. Over that way you've got Chartwell, Churchill's place,
Churchill,
Biggin
yeah.
Hill, yeah. Just over there. This is somewhere you want to get hold of them very early, otherwise you'll be through the station and out the other side. Actually, I think the railway could make wonderful profits if they made bigger car parks. I don't know what they charge for a car park now, but I mean, even if it was 50 pence a day, it's a good source of income.
Because it always seems to be full, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's never enough space. And it doesn't matter, even when they put a bit more on, it soon fills up.
Most of these parkway stations seem to do quite well. They advertise it as such as being somewhere to take your car, then catch the train.
Yeah, well, I believe they're going in for this business now of leave your car and they service it and all this, even shopping now, I believe. They're even talking about leave your shopping list with the old booking clerk and it'll be in your car. Dear. Anything but run a train.
Yeah, right. Hairdressing.
Oh, yeah. Anything but run a train. At the junction is Maidstone East on your left. They used to say in the old steam days, if you could fire over Maidstone East, you could fire anything. It was up and down. One minute you wanted it, the next minute you didn't want it.
So it's the last of those lines that way built, wasn't it? Right? Back this way later, when they try and get, I think it's the 1810 Orpington Holborn. One of the films that they're going into Holborn whilst it's still there. It goes through Herne Hill. So.
It's 1810 off Stokes.
No, it's from Orpington. It's around about that sort of time. In the meantime, we're back to London Bridge and try and get the South London line. So it's jinx, you know, every time I try to film it, it's rained or something.
Well, it's like this.
It's like this before.
Right, Soaks is the next one.
Oh, bell's loud enough, isn't it?
Stops you dropping off though. That and the vigilance.
What's this in here then? It's just a private side, isn't it?
It's ballast coming out.
Redland, yeah.
Yeah, they're digging all the ballast out.
How long is that line then?
How long's it been there?
Well, how long is it?
Oh, I don't know. I've never been in there, quite honestly. It's been there 4 or 5 years. From Dungeon Green, we used to have a line like the Western Branch.
Oh, right, yeah.
That used to run stuff down to actually to Chartwell during the war. But I can remember it as a push and pull, you know, the old steam train.
Oh, yeah.
But that was shut down and taken out, obviously, under Beeching.
NE stands for him.
That's the signal number.
Yeah, I know. Where's NE though?
Well, that'll be Soaks.
Oh, I see.
It's only just virtually, yeah, we can just see the corner of it, if you know
Oh,
where the
yeah.
look sort of bit.
Building straight ahead and
Yeah, that'll be the box there. This is the problem with these boxes today. You pick the phone up. Who are you talking to? This is the first thing you've got to. You know, I mean, could be someone miles and miles and miles away. These old bridges they put up, they meant them to stay up, didn't they?
certainly did. So what does that bleep coming through for? Just to keep you on your toes?
That's the vigilance.
I see.
Nothing
to do with the signals then?
No, that's the AWS. No, that's to, that times me. I've got to move something. If I move something, then I've got a minute before it will do it again. In other words, if you drop off or fall asleep or drop dead, if you haven't moved your brakes, your throttle or your AWS or your dead man, that'll put the brake on. So that gives you just that beep, 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 and it just gives you a little warning. But if you don't do something, it's going to brake's going on.
That's only on these though, isn't it?
Yes, yes. With the we don't have the vigilance on the EPP. Obviously, you've got the dead man incorporated in the driving. Actually, you can't hear it on this, but no, you can't hear it. But normally, when you move it, you can hear a click, quite a loud click in that cupboard, and it's timing you then for a minute. As I say, it's one of the safety things. Well, we don't get much chance. I mean, it doesn't catch us, but I mean, if you was on a run, obviously, it'd probably get to be quite a bit of a nuisance.
So a bit unheard of for drivers actually fall asleep in the cabin.
Yes, yes, it is. It is actually, yes. It's yes, strange as it may seem. Although sometimes when you get up early in the morning you feel drowsy, and yet funny enough, you know, you don't fall asleep. Fields up there with no shirts on, well, that's never heard of, you know. All right? No, I bought an old railway place up there.
Did you? Where was that?
Bridge of Dun. Bridge of Dun as opposed to Bridge of Don. Just, oh, it's what, 3.5 miles outside Montrose. That's how come this business of the railway, because it was one of those that was cut out by beaching.
What line was that on then?
Well, that would be that would be the well, they tell me. I mean, now they tell me it used to go off that way, and it used to, because there's nothing there now. They've got this bit of line runs from the Bridge of Dun to Brecon. It used to run right through to Montrose. But the guy, as I said, the guy that bought the station, who was he's living there now. He's gradually doing the station up as it used to be. He's got 3 steam engines. Most of them, they've got some diesels run about on it, where chaps have bought and reconditioned, you know. Runs by the bottom of the back garden, funny enough. You know, I should work on the railway, go up and on holiday and get trains running by the bottom of the back garden. Any weekend.
Sounds really good. Sunny Sevenoaks.
Yes.
So you're not taking this one back?
No, I don't take it back. I don't know who takes it back, quite honestly.